Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I had to record this like a couple of times because I just kept messing up. So, let's talk about Ned for a minute because after Ned got into a fight with Valentine, he continued to go back into the bar and start drinking with Alexis. And they pretty much kind of reminisce about the good old times or whatever, about their marriage and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, Ned was getting a little too friendly with Alexis. And here's my thing about this whole scene. So Ned is drunk at this point. And even though I'm like, Ned, what you're doing is crossing the line, Alexis, I don't think is drunk. I think she's literally just having seltzer at this point. I'm not too sure. But I'm assuming that she's having seltzer at this point. So I'm kind of just like, he's holding your hand a lot. He tried to kiss you like twice. What are you doing? You know? He starts telling Alexis about his marriage troubles and trouble with his daughter and stuff like that. And Alexis is kind of like telling Tim about Neil and that whole drama and stuff like that. And, Ned is like, we need to kind of hang out more. I don't want to go back to an empty home. And Alexis is just like, well, I'm down, but, what do you want to do? And then they look like they're about to kiss, and then it just kind of just ends on that note. So I don't know what is going on, but I was just like, Ned, you, kind of crossing the line there, buddy. Just throwing it out there. Let's talk about Julian. Because Julian decided to rob Martin Gray. There's an envelope inside, I guess his suitcase. And so he was going to get back any means necessary. So he decides to try to rob, well, yeah, he didn't try, he just did. He robbed Martin. And as he's sitting there looking at this envelope, Cyrus comes along. And they talk about, well, Cyrus pretty much wants to buy the restaurant, and Julian's like, no. They go back and forth, and then Chase questions Julian about, his whereabouts and stuff like that. And, of course, Cyrus, being a good guy that he is just like, I'm going to do you a solid, buddy. I'm going to be your alibi. Literally. And Chase, of course, is not buying it. So he's like, you know what, listen, I'm going to come back, get a lawyer, and he's not going to be here to run interference next time. So, as they kind of go their separate ways, not really go their separate ways, Cyrus at this point just wants to get free food and drinks. And so when Julian opens up the letter, well, he pretty much kind of gets a surprise of, ha ha ha, this isn't the actual letter. Try harder next time, buddy. From now. Pretty much Nita saying that, well, I may be dead, but you're still ain't going to be in hell. So, I'm not going to lie, I kind of thought that was funny. Talk about Sonny, Jax, and Nina. Really, not a lot happens. Nina offers Sonny her condolences. Nina goes upstairs. All three of them talk as far as Carly, Jax, and Sonny. And then when Nina comes back downstairs, she's just like, what is going on? And of course, Jax tries to lie and talk about the gruesome death and details and stuff like that. And I don't really know how much she bought. I mean, yeah, she was adding on to the conversation, but I felt like she's a lot smarter than this, and I feel like she knows that Jax is hiding something. I have to believe that because I know listen, I may not be Nina's biggest fan, but she's not an idiot. So, yeah, that happens. Honestly, tell you the truth, I'm not going to lie, it really didn't go anywhere. So, I mean, yeah, Jocelyn talks about her homecoming thing, but again, doesn't really go anywhere. The only thing that happens is Jax and Sonny kind of get into an argument because Sonny's all like, well, from here on out, we're going to be doing things my way. And Just another back and forth between Jax and Sunny. I'm surprised he didn't call him Candy Boy. If if you know what that line is, then I shouldn't really have to say more. But if you don't, pretty much says, Jax acts like he's hard on the outside, but yet he's soft on the inside. Candy Boy. Olivia talks to Lulu. Pretty much just, talks about her time trying to see Dante, and just pretty much at this point, she's just giving up hope. She's just giving up hope. And that was the hardest part. And there's something in my eye, and I'm not going to sit there and redo this again. That was the hardest part for her, is to give up hope. Because she pretty much said that she tried to talk to Dante, and Dante was like, not having it, So she's pretty much just really sad and broken. And honestly, to tell you the truth, she doesn't know about the status of her marriage. Because they kind of left in a bad place, and now she has that, and then she has Dante, so it's just a mess, honestly. But one part that I kind of felt a little bit funny, and not really that funny, was when she was sitting there talking to Robert, and she was sitting there talking to Lulu, and she kept sitting there saying, my hotel to run, I can't sit there and let people see me cry and bawl in tears in my hotel, like, you're actually, it's half your hotel and half Carly's. So I don't know what this whole Mines thing, I don't know what that business is about. And by the way, I have no idea how or why she actually is co-owner of the hotel. Like there was a part where I just stopped watching GH, so I don't know how that happened. So if anybody knows how Olivia became co-owner of the hotel, please let me know. There's some scenes with, what was his name now? I'm not gonna call him Heinrich. Peter. Peter and Robert. Robert just making veiled threats, I'm gonna get you sooner or later, justice is gonna be served, blah, 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 blah. Lulu at this point just comes in there and just sticks up for, Peter. And it kind of reminds me of, like, this whole, all these women that they're lined up to sit there and defend this man. It kind of reminds me of Sunny. Somebody had an argument. I think it was Jax. And Jax was like, you pretty much used women in your life as a shield. And I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? Peter's actually doing that too. So, I don't really know what to say about that. But yes, yeah. So anyway, that, Lulu sticks up for him. Robert walks off, and, Lulu has an idea as far as, because she still wants to do this whole story about Cyrus and everything like that, and kind of exposing him, like, worldwide, whatever. So she has some sort of plan to, because she was trying to get, I guess, like an international, like somebody that was like bigger than like a local press or whatever, but I don't know, I guess she has some sort of like bright idea, so I guess we'll see that throughout the week. Let's talk about Dante. Dante, here's the thing, Dante and his doctor was talking, and we finally figure out what his target is. Peter. And pretty much the reason why the Bureau, SWB, whatever, is sending him to investigate Peter is because technically the book is closed on Peter. They didn't find anything, and they're just kind of just putting it to rest. But the doctor's like, they feel like some people in our organization feel like Peter isn't exactly on the up and up. So this is kind of a more like, if you failed and it's on you kind of thing. And then he does this clicking thing. So I guess he still has that programming. I honestly tell you at this point, I have no idea what's going on. At first I felt like this doctor was there to sit there and help Dante. But the minute he started talking and Dante started looking at this briefcase, the doctor does this clicking thing And then Dante said something like, you know, we'll complete the mission or whatever, so I don't know what that's about. Anyway, long story short, he heads out, and then the doctor talks to this mysterious person, which is Liesel. Which I was like, nice. Because I felt like she kind of got the raw, to some extent, I felt like she kind of got the raw shaft of this whole thing. Like, they just said, alright, you're going to jail for X amount of time, and you're guilty, and blah, 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 blah. And they just kind of just threw her away. So, I don't know. Let me pause it for a second. I'm kind of glad that she's kind of starting to take control back over this whole Peter situation. Now, to be fair, this is during the time period where I wasn't watching it. So, in some ways, I feel like the people who have been watching it feel like she's getting... I feel like in some ways, the people who have been watching this, they've seen all her dirt. It's just like, you know what? You're getting exactly what you deserve. From me, personally, because I haven't seen that much of her dirt, I'm like, alright, you know what? I'm kind of rooting for Liesel. Now, I can't say the same thing about Nina because... And this is almost kind of pretty much the end of this Cole review. As I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm never going to really forgive the whole Mrs. Tate thing and how Nina almost got her fired. But then I was also like, you know what? That's kind of a detriment to me a little bit because kind of like Days. You know, there's certain characters I don't really know that much about. So I don't have this pre-notion of being like, I really don't like this person. Kind of like Lucas's husband, Brad. Like, I never liked him. I've never liked him since that whole blackmailing thing with Michael. But if I came into it, like, I don't know, maybe about a year after or so, I might not have been that harsh on him. So that's why I'm sitting there kind of looking at this whole Liesel thing and be like, you know what? Besides the fact that she nearly, you know, burnt down or pretty much set Peter on fire, I'm kind of rooting for her. But then again, I don't have this whole backstory of knowing all her dirt or being like watching all her dirt, if that makes any sense. I think I kind of talked about Portia and Carter's scenes, which were pointless. Yeah, and I think I kind of talked about Olivia, yeah. One second. Yeah, so Nina, Liesel's the one that's pulling, you know, that's behind the whole strings as far as, like, getting Dante assigned on, Peter, which is actually pretty smart. And actually, to tell you the truth, I think I'm really done. Also, I'm at, like, 17% because this tablet is crap, and I feel like it's a lot better, but I also feel like it's a lot better quality as far as the sound, as opposed to, like, my old tablet that I used to use, that I still use. But with that being said, I think that's actually about it. So, definitely a good episode. Martin Gray still doesn't know who robbed him, but Valentine's like, yo, listen, I want to find out. And he threatens Martin, but Martin doesn't cave. And, you know, Valentine's like, listen, this is not even about me. This is about people that I care about. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to protect them. So, yeah, if you don't start playing hardball, I may have to do something to you. Pretty much, that was just the veiled threat that Valentine actually put on Martin. Yeah, that's actually it. So with that being said, one second. So with that being said, I'm so sorry that this came out so late, but Mondays is usually my longer days. So, yeah. I also was taking a look at Brock TV. He actually probably put out his review by now. But, usually I would sit there and tell people that head to Brock TV, especially on Mondays, because I know that I usually don't do my reviews at least on this one, to a little bit later. But he's been putting out some of his reviews kind of late too, so I don't know. I still wish that things like at least Mondays probably had to his channel. Also, he has really good insight on some of the stuff that goes on in the show. Anyway, that's gonna do it. Thank you so much for watching. And if I missed anything else, I don't think it was probably that important. So be safe. Let me know what you thought of this episode, and I will catch you in the next review.